you tired of feeling unmotivated and lazy? Do you want to learn how to break free from the cycle of procrastination and start living a more mindful and purposeful life? In this video, we'll explore 8 proven ways to stop being lazy, all with the guidance of Buddhism. Lesson 1. See tasks as mindfulness, not burden. Laziness grows when the mind treats work as heavy. The body may not be weak, but the mind creates weight. In Buddhism, every action can be a field of mindfulness. A simple task is not just a duty, it is a chance to be fully present. When you wash dishes, you are not just cleaning plates, you are training awareness. When you write a report, you are not only using words, you are shaping your attention. The Buddha taught that mindfulness is not limited to meditation. Mindfulness can live in walking, sitting, eating, and working. When you see tasks as mindfulness, the feeling of burden becomes light. Work becomes practice. You do not need to escape it. You can rest inside the act itself. Laziness comes when you resist the moment. You say this is boring. You say this is hard. You say this is useless. These thoughts add weight to simple actions. But when you bring mindfulness, the mind no longer adds extra weight. The task remains the same, but the feeling changes. Mindfulness is to see what is in front of you without judgment. When you sweep the floor, you just sweep. When you cook food, you just cook. The mind does not run ahead or look back. This removes the pressure of results. Laziness falls away because the task is no longer a fight. The Buddhist way is simple. Turn your work into meditation. Breathe and move with awareness. Even if the task is long, do one step at a time. When your mind is here, the weight is gone. The burden becomes training. Work becomes peace. This change of view is powerful. The same task that felt heavy becomes a place of calm. Laziness cannot survive in calmness. Awareness cuts through the fog of delay. You no longer say, "I will do it later." You begin now, because now is the only place for mindfulness. Mindfulness creates joy even in small things. Folding clothes can be peaceful. Writing notes can be grounding. The task does not need to be special. It only needs your full presence. The Buddha's teaching shows that freedom is not found by escaping work. Freedom is found in how you meet the work. When you see tasks as mindfulness, you train both mind and body. You grow stronger in attention. You grow free from laziness. Each task is no longer a burden. It becomes a step in the path. The path is not far away. The path is here, in the task before you. Lesson 2. Remove resistance instead of forcing. Laziness often feels like a heavy wall. People try to break it with force. They shout at themselves. They blame themselves. They use guilt to move, but this way brings pain. It makes the wall even stronger. Buddhism teaches a gentle way. Instead of fighting resistance, remove it. Resistance is created by the mind. It says this work is too much. It says this action will tire me. It says I am not ready. These are voices of resistance. The more you argue with them, the more they grow. The Buddha taught that craving and aversion create suffering. Resistance is a form of aversion. It is the pushing away of the present task. To stop being lazy, do not push harder. Look at the resistance with awareness. When you see it clearly, it loses power. You understand this is only a thought. It is not truth. It is like a cloud that passes. The sky of mind is much bigger. When you stop fighting yourself, the energy flows naturally. You do not need to whip the mind. You only need to open the block. It is like water behind a dam. Remove the dam, and water runs on its own. Remove resistance, and action begins. The way to remove resistance is to make the task light. Do not tell yourself it must be perfect. Do not tell yourself it must be finished in one move. Simply say, "I will take the first step." This lowers the wall. The mind no longer resists because the weight is less. In Buddhism, gentleness is strength. Forcing yourself may win once, but it drains your energy. Removing resistance wins always, because it saves your strength. Laziness fades when the path is smooth. You walk without struggle. Awareness is the key. When you feel stuck, pause. Notice the tension in the body. Notice the excuses in the mind. Do not fight them. Breathe and let them go. Say to yourself, "I choose to move, even if small." In that moment, resistance melts. This practice brings freedom. You are no longer trapped in cycles of guilt and delay. You move with ease. The Buddha taught that right effort is balanced, not too tight, not too loose. Removing resistance brings this balance. Laziness is not a solid stone. It is a shadow created by resistance. When you shine awareness on it, the shadow disappears. The task is no longer blocked. You move forward with calm strength. Lesson 3. Detach from comfort, not seek motivation. Most people think laziness is lack of motivation. They wait for inspiration. They wait for energy. But motivation is unstable. Some days it comes, some days it does not. If you rely on it, you remain trapped. Buddhism shows another way. The root of laziness is not lack of motivation. It is attachment to comfort. The mind clings to ease. It loves the soft bed. It loves the endless scroll. It loves the delay of action. This comfort becomes a prison. It promises rest, but gives emptiness. The Buddha taught that clinging is the root of suffering. Laziness is clinging to ease. To overcome laziness, do not chase motivation. Let go of attachment to comfort. See that comfort is not true rest. It numbs the mind, but does not refresh the soul. Real rest is found in mindful action. When you finish a task with presence, the rest is deep. Detachment does not mean rejecting comfort fully. It means not being its slave. You can enjoy rest when it is time, but when it is time to act, you let go of the pull of ease. This detachment gives freedom. Motivation is no longer needed. Action comes from clarity, not from moods. The Buddha lived a life of balance. He saw that pleasure and pain both bind the mind. The middle way is freedom from clinging. To stop being lazy, practice the middle way. Do not chase constant comfort. Do not fear effort. Simply act with balance. Each time you detach from comfort, the mind grows stronger. You see that you are not controlled by craving. You gain self-mastery. Laziness loses grip because its food is gone. Comfort no longer rules you. This training is gradual. Begin with small acts. When you feel the pull to lie down longer, gently rise. When you feel the pull to waste more time, gently return to your task. Each act of detachment is a step of freedom. Buddhism teaches that freedom is not found in what feels easy. It is found in letting go. Laziness is an illusion of comfort. When you detach, you see the truth. Action is lighter than delay. Work is lighter than guilt. Freedom is lighter than clinging. Lesson 4. Take small, consistent steps daily. The mountain of work feels heavy. The mind says it is too much. Laziness enters when the task looks endless. But Buddhism teaches patience and steady effort. You do not need to climb the mountain in one leap. You only need small steps, taken daily. The Buddha taught the value of consistency. Drops of water fill the jar. In the same way, small acts build great change. Laziness weakens when you focus on small steps. The weight of the task reduces. The mind feels light. A small step can be opening the book. A small step can be writing one line. A small step can be walking for 5 minutes. The size does not matter. What matters is that you move today. When you move each day, action becomes habit. Laziness cannot grow where habit is strong. Consistency trains discipline. It shows the mind that effort is natural. It removes the drama of waiting for the perfect moment. Buddhism teaches that effort should be steady, not extreme. Steady effort is like breathing. It becomes part of life. Laziness thrives on delay. It says tomorrow will be better, but tomorrow never arrives. Small daily steps cut this illusion. Each day is a chance to move. Each step builds momentum. Soon the task that felt huge becomes easy. When you practice daily, the mind gains trust. You no longer doubt your ability. You know you can act because you have proof. Laziness loses its voice. Confidence grows. The Buddha said that even the longest journey is walked step by step. The same is true with your work. Do not look at the whole mountain. Look only at the step before you. Take it today. Tomorrow, take another. Slowly, you reach the peak. This teaching removes the fear of failure. A small step cannot fail. It is too light to fear. Even if progress is slow, it is real. Laziness has no power when movement never stops. Lesson 5. Stop overthinking, simply begin. The mind is a maker of delays. It thinks too much. It plans too much. It creates endless stories. Overthinking feeds laziness. Action becomes stuck in thought. Buddhism teaches the value of directness. Stop overthinking. Simply begin. Thoughts are like waves. If you follow them, you drift far. You think about how hard the task is. You think about how long it will take. You think about what others may say. These thoughts build fear. Fear feeds delay. Delay becomes laziness. The Buddha taught that thoughts are not self, they rise and fall like clouds. You do not need to follow each cloud. When you stop clinging to thought, you are free to act. The way is simple. Do not wait for all thoughts to end. Begin while they are still there. Action itself clears the fog. One step into work ends the storm of overthinking. Overthinking is a trick of the mind. It pretends to prepare you, but often it only wastes time. Buddhism values clarity over confusion. Clarity comes through action. The first step reveals the next. Do not aim for perfect readiness. Begin where you are. When you begin, energy flows. When you delay, energy sinks. Laziness grows in delay. This teaching is powerful because it removes excuses. You do not need to solve every thought. You only need to act once. That act breaks the chain. Laziness cannot hold a moving body. The Buddha's path was built on right action. Right action means moving in harmony with truth. It is not stuck in endless thought. It is alive and simple. Lesson 6. Align actions with deeper purpose. Laziness grows when work feels empty. The mind asks, why should I care? Without purpose, effort feels dry. Buddhism teaches that true energy comes from meaning. Align your actions with deeper purpose. The Buddha's path was not about random effort. It was about right effort. Right effort comes from a heart that knows its aim. When your actions serve a higher purpose, laziness fades. Deeper purpose can be kindness. It can be growth. It can be service. It can be wisdom. When you see your work as part of this, it gains power. Writing a paper is not just writing. It is training focus. It is preparing to help others. Cleaning a room is not just cleaning. It is creating space for peace. When you align with purpose, the task becomes sacred. It is no longer empty duty. It is practice on the path. Laziness loses grip because the heart is alive. The Buddha taught that intention shapes karma. Every act carries weight. When your intention is clear, energy flows. When it is empty, energy dies. Find the purpose behind each act. Even small actions have meaning. Cooking can be an act of love. Studying can be an act of wisdom. Work can be an act of service. This view removes laziness. It fills you with quiet joy. Purpose does not need to be grand. It needs to be true. When you see meaning, your energy is steady. You no longer rely on moods. You are guided by clarity. This teaching transforms life. You no longer drag yourself through tasks. You walk with purpose. Each step serves the path. Each act nourishes the spirit. Laziness cannot live in a heart full of meaning. Lesson 7. Focus on the present step. Only laziness often grows from fear of the whole. You see the full weight of the task. You say it is too much. You say you cannot finish. The burden is created by looking too far. Buddhism teaches presence. Focus only on the step before you. The Buddha said the past is gone. The future is not yet here. Only the present is real. Laziness comes when the mind jumps to the future. It imagines struggle. It imagines failure. The body becomes heavy. When you focus on the present step, the load becomes light. You do not carry the whole journey. You carry only this step. This makes action simple. Laziness loses its reason to stay. Presence gives clarity. You see only what is needed now. You wash one plate. You write one line. You walk one step. This is enough. When you keep doing this, the task finishes on its own. The Buddha compared life to breathing, one breath at a time. You cannot breathe tomorrow's air. You cannot redo yesterday's breath. You only breathe now. Work is the same. You can only act now. When you live in the present, fear of the future fades. Regret of the past fades. Laziness has no soil. The mind is calm. This teaching also brings peace. You no longer feel rushed. You no longer feel buried. You feel free because you only carry what belongs to this moment. Lesson 8. Treat laziness as a hidden teacher. Laziness is not only an enemy, it can also be a teacher. Buddhism teaches that all experiences can be teachers when seen with awareness. Laziness shows where the mind is stuck. It shows where fear, craving, or emptiness lives. When you feel lazy, do not hate yourself. Do not hide from it. Look at it closely. What is it teaching you? Maybe it shows you are chasing comfort. Maybe it shows you lack purpose. Maybe it shows you are overthinking. Each lesson is useful. The Buddha said, suffering is a teacher. It points the way to truth. Laziness is a small form of suffering. It creates discomfort. It blocks growth. If you face it, you learn. If you run, it grows. By treating laziness as a teacher, you remove shame. You gain wisdom. You see its root. You respond with clarity, not anger. Sometimes laziness teaches rest. The body may be tired. The mind may need pause. This is not weakness. This is care. At other times, laziness teaches resistance. The mind is clinging to comfort. This is a chance to practice letting go. When you honor laziness as a teacher, it loses power. It becomes part of your growth. It becomes a guide, not a prison. The Buddhist path is about transformation. Even pain becomes wisdom. Even weakness becomes strength. Laziness too can transform into awareness.